no, this is grown folk business basically, and let me deal with it, and you go be a kid. Now, how do we be the rich dad here?
I don't know. I mean, I keep I keep going back to when I was younger, and you were talking about making it cool. And I just want to preface this: I was not cool by any stretch of the imagination, but amongst the nerds, I was like kind of cool. So,
Cool.
But seriously, what made me want to explore this more was the fact that you could take something and make it your own, and that was what made you cool. People would look at your MySpace or your whatever it was that you were messing around with, and yours was cool, and people
like
wanted to know,
Nikes.
how can I get mine like yours? Exactly. How can I get mine like yours? What did you do to get yours like that? And so I think that the age of customizable UI is long past. I think that none of these companies are going to let people mess with the UI ever again like they did on MySpace. But there has to be something that's the next thing that you can make your own. I've seen people even starting to do with Instagram. They'll put these Instagram layouts where they'll take like 12 or 9 pictures or whatever, and they'll make it into a layout. Someone came up with that, and now all of a sudden everyone's doing it. So there has to be some sort of way going forward for people
like
to
story
use,
skins.
Right, exactly. It's for people to use technology in some kind of creative way and kind of associate it with them.
Got it. Yeah. But we got to connect not only the using the end of technology when it's done and being made. What I mean by cool is not that it's cool like, hey man, I'm the coolest kid on the block, like newest pair of shoes, and he's always got the sickest car and the hottest partner or whatever. But more or less like almost as cool as a basketball player, and those aspirations to be one, or a rapper, right? Or a DJ or producer, right? Like that is, if you said it and you're young, you're like, oh, right on, that's awesome, that's dope, it's whatever. Like there's just almost no questioning, it's just go for it or good luck or whatever. If you have a football in your hand, it's not really a question. You're trying to get to college and NFL, you already see the progression. But when you say the end app and making it personalized and everything, but even to get to the point where you have to learn C++, like how do you make that cool, man? Like,
I would suggest any kid try C++. Like we're gonna give them like a better introductory language. That was like something that I had a gripe with in my school. I was like, why would y'all start us on this? It's like y'all was setting us up to fail.
Wow.
But
I'm so sorry they did that to you.
Oh man, it's terrible.
You're really cool now.
Once I finished those classes, I never looked back to it.
Wow.
But either way, as you were saying this, because I was like, it's because I think about my own nephew, and he's very inquisitive himself. Because I bought him kind of like, the little bits and stuff like that where he can do a little coding, but he was like, and it's unfortunate that I live so far away, and he was like, because I want to do it. He's like, I wanted to do it with you, because he calls me Uncle M. He was like, I want you to be here and do it with me. So I'm trying to, at least introduce him to things. But one thought I kind of had as you were kind of talking about this is kind of what's like cool with children now. Followers, like social media is kind of cool with children now. So if we can even equate their technical skills was like, oh, you may get more followers from this. Maybe that's even an avenue we can kind of go, because I mean, you see, even though it seems like a try, what's the girl, Lil Tay or whatever, who apparently, I guess somebody just feeds her lines and she say them. But so like Twitch and things like that, on different platforms, getting a lot of followers. So even if we can at least do something like that, because with those followers, it gives the children, I guess, and I know there can be a slippery slope because of all the negative interactions that could go on. But I can see children kind of equate that with coolness now if you have followers. So if there's some kind of way, I guess we can tie together, like, hey, if you're good at this technology, you're going to have followers and stuff like that, and it's going to look cool. So I don't know exactly how to do that.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, and it still feels like, to me, I'm playing devil's advocate, that's the end result. It's like, okay, you got the technology. I can proclaim that I know that black youth know how to use technology, right? They may have scruffy shoes, but shit, they know how to get up on that iPhone, I'll tell you that, right? So the using of technology, but creating it and saying, I can do that. Does that make sense? Yeah. From nothing. Because that's where Facebook came from an idea and a code. Nothing. and saying, I can do that. And it's easy for a white kid to see Zuckerberg.
Right.
It's like, I get the relationship. But how do I make it where it's cool for a kid instead of a basketball? Not saying basketball is wrong, but like, hey, I don't have to be a basketball player. I want to get into
At least
I
here,
see Lauren's about to jump all over this.
Yeah, I think we need to do a better job of showing kids and people in general who's actually making this technology. Because if you think about it, the reason people, it's cool to be a basketball player, right? Because everybody's got a TV, everybody goes home and watches basketball, and you can see that person in your house. You can see them doing what they do. You can see a musician. You can see any of these other jobs. And when it comes to tech, everybody has, not everybody, but a lot of kids have access to tech in some way now. Like you were saying, a lot of kids have access to phones and apps and whatever, but it's faceless, right? There's no, you can't look at Instagram and see, if you ask anybody in the street who made Instagram, nobody. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know if I have the right answer. I'm not going to say it. But
I know who owns it now.
Facebook.
Right. But if you ask people who made the stuff that you care about, nobody knows. And if you ask about music, who made that song you like? People instantly know who that
producer,
was. Right.
The rapper,
they know everybody.
Who featured on it.
They know all the actors in every movie. They know everything. But if you ask who made all your favorite apps on your phone, or even where were they, what country were they in, nobody knows.
I can't even say anything about that. You're right. That's so profound, but yet it's so part of our life on a day-to-day. And we'll never go and touch a rapper or whoever it is we're into. Right? You're so right. That's amazing. And that is how we're going to conclude. I so appreciate you both hanging in there. We had a lot of, that was great juju, so much meat on that bone. Again, this conversation, basically, we wanted to discuss about blacks and our relationship with technology, not just blacks in tech, because you two are blacks in tech, whether you like it or not. Welcome to the club. You know what I'm saying? Own it. But our relationship to technology, and hopefully we've inspired or at least opened a conversation for others to maybe think about the option for them, or maybe someone they know to get into tech, and that there are coalitions and fellowships that they can look for. Are there any specific that you would recommend you to?
That's a good a thing I'm glad you brought up is Lauren and I both kind of went the traditional route, but there are other avenues within tech now. Even the boot camp, which I taught at one, the boot camp can be a little bit leaning towards more so the privilege side, because it could be it's a lot shorter. You can basically go from 0 to at least junior software engineer in a course of 12 weeks or something like that, where you can, but it can be a hefty financial investment for some people. Now, but there is one actually I found out about, and I'm not affiliated with them anyway, but I'll plug them a little bit, called Lambda School, that I found out about recently. They're completely online. You take the courses, taught remotely. And the cool thing about it that allows it, for people who are from, more modest backgrounds and things like that, is that you don't pay for a Lambda School until you get a job as a software engineer making at least $50,000 annually.
Do they help you get that?
Yeah, I think they have kind of like a placement and stuff. So you go through the entire program, you learn all the skills. Now, I guess they have, because it's a company that went through Y Combinator, so they're well funded and stuff like that. So I just had a conversation with one of the founders about a month or so ago, and I think they do help get placement, because he gave some stories about some people. Like one guy went from stacking boxes in a warehouse to being an iOS developer at Uber, making $90K.
What?
Something like that, yeah. So they have different success stories listed on their website.
Threw that box away real quick.
Yeah. So again, I'm not affiliated with them, but I think it's something that people can look into.
Is there a website for it, or
it's either lambdaschool.com or lambdaschool.org or something like that. So so at least people they can go through the program and not have to do the financial investment up front, which is a barrier for a lot of people. And then they'll pay back, I think it's 17% of the salary over 2 years once they're making over $50K. So at least that's something, an alternative route to kind of get
in the door.
Yeah, but
get in the door.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there are other boot camps, and then there's like Udemy, Udacity, a lot of online resources where you can kind of go on and learn at your own pace as well.
Okay, and Lauren,
there's a lot of organizations dedicated to younger people as well. So there's Black Girls Code, Girls Who Code. Clearly, I have an agenda here. I'm trying to get girls here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I have a beautiful daughter, and she wants to get into graphic design, and I was like, can you minor in computer science just a little bit? Just to, job security, you never know, right? And that's beautiful. So what would you recommend?
So for kids, I would definitely recommend, if you're in a place where they have a program like Black Girls Code, that's super great because you can go, you can meet people, you can see them in the flesh and see, okay, these are people who I can look up to. This is a real person I can relate to who does this for a living.
Okay.
And I would say even beyond that, like I know Minecraft, there's a bunch of games that allow you to kind of explore that programming mindset, and even if it's not really looking
Minecraft,
at Java code or something, but there's a lot of games that are kind of modular and allow kids to learn that sort of
logic, putting things together.
Yeah, Minecraft, Scratch, Code Combat, all of those things they're basically writing code hidden in a game. So.
Are there coalitions or like Facebook groups for fellow Black nerds out there? What's going on? Like coding folks?
There's a lot of different things. There's even something I wish I could be at right now. It's called BlurredCon. Actually happened in the DC area. So BlurredCon. So Black nerds, they put together their own convention. I think this is their second year in the DC area. I really wish I could have made it.
That's amazing. I would have done the podcast from there. Great.
Yeah, so I think it's happening right now, this weekend. So
you know about this, Laura?
No, you didn't even tell me about this. Like,
I
would have been gone.
Yeah, I'd be like, we have to do this in a couple of weeks, I guess. But that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Is there a website for it or no?
I just know of their Twitter handle, and I think it's just at BlurredCon.
Okay,
I'm sure they have a website where you can go and buy the tickets and stuff. Okay. Actually, one I will tell you about. My wife, she just brought this one to me the other day. There's going to be a WakandaCon in Chicago the first weekend of August.
Well, I smelt that coming. So, WakandaCon.
WakandaCon.
You better get your dashikis ready. I'll tell you that.
Like I'm seeing if I can make it over there. I think it's supposed to be like August 3rd through 5th or something like that.
Oh wow!
Tickets are like $35. It's like like very modest. It's just
get there.
Yeah, just getting to Chicago. So
what?
So
that's awesome.
So it's several communities out there of like kind of Black people who are kind of into different things, and then gosh, it was one was it Black Girl Nerds or something like that? I think, has a pretty strong community on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
What is it called?
Black Girl Nerds. It's an online publication.
Yeah, I've heard of that actually. Black Girl Nerds. I forgot where in the heck I heard that, but I love the sound of it.
Again, I know I'm like plugging a bunch of stuff here. A lot of these I don't have any affiliation to. It's just things that I think are cool. One that I'm gonna plug. I actually met these guys last year, and it was crazy because they're actually from Mississippi, and we know some of the same people. It's a brother who's actually in the NBA, Johnny O'Bryant, created a Black-owned, Black-targeted anime and manga company.
What?
Called Noir Caesar.
Okay,
and they were at Crunchyroll convention out here in Santa Clara last year. They're actually, and this is another thing, I wish I could be several places at once right now. They're the big anime convention in LA right now, Anime Expo. They're actually debuting their first anime tonight.
Wow.
So that's
amazing.
Yeah,
and that's a bit nerdy. That's cool.
Yeah, like, it's crazy because this dude 6'10". Like, I remember seeing him because I remember heard his name years ago because he went to the same high school as one of my groomsmen. And I remember hearing his name, and I walked up. I was like, "Is that him?" And so I was talking to him. He's the founder, and then one of the co-founders was actually the teacher of one of my other groomsmen. So it was like we just sit there, talking about stuff from being from Mississippi for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now, like I said, they have several manga in print. They do some digital, and they're just releasing their first like kind of in print.
And what you said what con was this at?
They're at Anime Expo right now in LA, but the name of their company is Noir Caesar. And they're releasing the first episode of their first anime tonight.
Well, awesome.
And one more thing, to get back to more of the job search, things like that. there's a program called Floodgate Academy.
Oh, shout out to the VARs.
Yeah, it's run by a friend of ours. It's a great program. So it's basically a program where they alternate between 3 months of classroom training and 3 months of sort of more like on the job co-op style training. But the program is free. So there's a couple other programs that do similar things, but they will cost you, $5,000-$10,000. So this program is free. And they also help you get a job afterwards. They help you with that process.
And that's beautiful because